Hello there, cinephiles of YouTube. This is Bill Robertson, and tonight I'm going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm just getting around to finally watching it. It came out this past summer, but I just rented it from Redbox tonight, and it's a pretty cool movie. I really liked the first one, and I'd hoped to watch the first one again before I watched this one, but I didn't have the opportunity. I think James Gunn is probably one of my favorite new directors. Even though he's been around for quite a while, and he's directed not a lot of movies, but several. I would consider him a new director because he's just, with Guardians of the Galaxy, he's gotten to be in the public eye. He did Slither about 10 years ago with Nathan Fillion, and I love that movie. Right around the time Kick-Ass came out, he did a low budget, kind of along the same lines as Kick-Ass. He did a movie called Super, and that was a fantastic movie. And then it wasn't too long after that he took on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. And when I first saw that, I wasn't expecting much. I never read the comics, didn't really care, but it looked cool. And when I saw it, I was very pleasantly surprised. And very excited for the sequel to come out. For some reason, I didn't make it to the movie theater to watch it, but finally got to see it tonight about 3 months too late. It was a great story about family and relationships between family members. The Guardians each had their own little subplot where each one of them was paired off with another character to kind of develop their family dynamic with each other, for the team to dynamically evolve into a tighter family by the end of the film. It's a second film in a trilogy along the lines of Empire Strikes Back, Wrath of Khan. It's where the heroes have to, not only are they on an adventure, they're on an adventure of self-discovery at the same time. Each one learns about their past, who their real family is, who their fake family is, and they use that to develop and become better people by the end, and of course save the day. Now, I've been a comic book collector since, I learned to read with comic books, and recently I picked up a bunch of these old Guardians of the Galaxy comics from my good buddy Mark Boyce, who sells comics at his family yard sale every summer. And I got a whole bunch of these original Guardians of the Galaxy comics. I haven't got them all, but I'm only missing a few, and I hope to put them all together. I've never read them before, and I hope to figure out, where the ideas for this movie come from. There's a lot of 1970s Marvel comics packed into these Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Although a lot of the ideas, I guess, come from the 90s Guardians of the Galaxy comic series, which I didn't read that either, but I believe Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, who did the comics for Marvel in the 90s, are listed as co-writers for the script on this. James Gunn wrote and directed it, but he used their comics as the basis for his screenplay. This movie gets 2 thumbs up. I can't believe how the CGI. Like, I wanted to see who the CGI company was who did this, so I watched the credits at the end, and to see all the cool additional scenes spread throughout the credits. But I wanted to see who did the CGI for this, because it's just beautiful. And in the first movie, it was beautiful as well. And there's like no one company that does it all. There's several companies listed, several digital animators listed, and James Gunn, every frame, every scene, every shot is just jam-packed with lights and beautiful colors. I can't say enough about his eye, his directing style, and his choices for what the viewer sees on the screen. I watched it on a DVD, and I watched it on my I watched it on my Blu-ray player with an HDMI cable, so it's fairly high quality as far as the picture goes, but I want to see it on a bigger screen with a better sound system, because he puts so much into every shot, every scene, and every sound. Like, James Gunn packs the screen full of so much information, so many Easter eggs. Like, if you're a comics fan, which he must be, there's so much to see. And you would have to sit there with your button on pause and just be hitting pause and play constantly and stopping and checking everything out that's going on. There's so much going on. He packs it full of so much stuff. Like, James Gunn is, he must be a genius. My buddy at work, Bill McCormick, is a fan of his very first screenplay was for Trauma, which is famous for doing The Toxic Avenger back in the 80s and that franchise, and they did all kinds of low-budget horror movies, and James Gunn worked for them initially. He wrote the movie Tromeo and Juliet, and I've never seen it, but my buddy Bill from work says it's really cool, and he's a big fan of horror and everything, so he has it, and I'm gonna have to borrow that from him sometime and watch it. And I just found out the other day, James Gunn wrote the screenplay for the Dawn of the Dead remake that Zack Snyder broke through with a bunch of years ago and became a big time director. I've never been a big fan of the remakes that have been going on for the last decade or so, but I always said that Dawn of the Dead was like, that one's good. I really like Dawn of the Dead. And just the other day, I saw that James Gunn wrote that movie, and I was like, oh, of course he did. I'm gushing about James Gunn, I apologize, but he deserves it. But anyway, like I said, 2 thumbs up for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Excited to see Volume 3. Excited to see Avengers Infinity War, because I can't wait to see how they jam all the heroes into that movie, including Guardians of the Galaxy. Before that, we got to watch Thor, whatever the next Thor 3, whatever the next Thor is. So that's next, and then I think it's after that, I think we get Avengers next summer. So, until then, impatiently waiting for Guardians Volume 3. Anyway, one more time, Guardians Volume 2, 2 thumbs up. I'm Bill Robertson, and I'll see you next time.